Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel and happy holidays to everyone celebrating. So, this is my not so annual ranking of every girl group that debuted in 2024. Grab a snack cause this is gonna be a long one. A couple of quick disclaimers first. This is 100% based off of my own personal biased opinions and preference. So if a group is rated lower, it doesn't mean it's bad, just not my taste. And second, I won't be including any co-ed groups, trot groups, kid groups or subunits of existing groups. All of these songs are gonna be in a playlist in the description, so with all of that out of the way, let's begin. Starting off this ranking we have Uncrushable by Celt9b. A bit unlistenable, very in your face, and vocals aren't mixed well at all, which makes it sound screechy. I always give new groups some leniency when it comes to song production quality, but even if it was mixed properly, I just wouldn't find the actual song enjoyable. Their pre-debut release was better, not by a lot but it was more put together. Some positives though, I did like the second verse and the choreography was nicely executed. This song is just so far from my style. I feel kinda bad ranking it even cause like, it never stood a chance, you know. They were known for mostly doing covers of songs in similar vein, so I'm happy for them to finally make an official debut. Fun fact about Unicode, they're a Japanese group formed by a survival show, but are promoting and releasing music in both Korean and Japanese, similar to the previous one. It's cute with a nice melody and I know there's a market for concepts like this, so definitely check them out if you're into that early G-Friend / Christian horse girl music. Quest is a very typical Nugu song. It's not unlistenable but the production is very minimal, and with them being an independent group, that figures. The song aside, there's a lot of controversy behind this group considering two of the members, Sang and Haeun, were proven bullies in their former group I love, so naturally no one really wants to support this group. I feel bad for the other three members, especially my girl GU from Blaster. Quest isn't that bad of a song but I just don't see myself listening to it, all things considered. One of the non-bully members already left, so I don't think they are gonna continue as a group for much longer. I made a video where I talk about Newell and their shady company more in depth, so feel free to check that out, but to sum up my thoughts, this whole debut feels very lethargic and dated. The chorus is catchy, but the rap parts take me out a bit, not gonna lie. DD's vocals are a nice touch and it's good to know she's still active after Rumble G presumably disbanded. The girls definitely deserved a song with more substance and decent original B-sides. Hopefully they can pull together something better if there's gonna be a comeback. No budget whatsoever, but if you'll actually listen to the whole song, it is not bad, like at all. The chorus feels a bit too much at first and I guess you could call it a music video, definitely could have benefited from some movement, but the beat kinda goes off. I like what they were going for even though they didn't necessarily get there. They actually released 2 more songs after this but it's leaning more into the trot territory. The Nugu pipeline from pop to trot should be analyzed actually.
Don't get in my way. Admire me.
I love that little intro melody and the overall instrumental. There's definitely a good song hiding underneath this low-key horrid production quality. The vocals aren't super convincing and it took several listens for this song to grow on me, but it did eventually. I like the mysterious gloomy vibe and it's sad the group has already disbanded after only being active for a few months. All the members signed contracts with a new agency, so if they do all re-debut, I'm hoping it's with a better song.
That's me.
Dropped the ball by having this as their debut track instead of Best Friends. Don't get me wrong, that song isn't perfect either. It's giving kids bop all the way, but there was something catchy about the chorus. While I just can't find anything interesting about That's Me, it's boring, somewhat uninspiring and very minimal in production, which isn't always a bad thing but in this case it is. The only positives I see are the very energetic live stages. The members are truly giving it their all but they don't have a lot to work with. So this group is some sort of a virtual AI concoction from a high-boned company, and at first I was confused whether this was just a virtual group with real singers or if it's Vocaloid or just straight up AI, and unfortunately is straight up AI generated. I already said in one of my previous videos that I don't support usage of AI in creative places such as art and music, so this is already a big no-no. I decided to still include it and just judge the song by itself, even though the likelihood of me listening to it is zero. It's actually pretty good, has that J-pop vibe, but I would have liked it so much more if I knew I was listening to actual people, you know. It literally wouldn't make a difference song-wise, so I don't know why bother with all of this. I really wish I enjoyed this debut more. It's giving low-key ITZY vibes, and I might be saying that cause one of the members has a similar voice to Yuna, and the song producer worked with a lot of JYP artists, among others. It definitely doesn't read as an Ugu song, so having an Ugu music video feels like a step back. Overall Slippery just didn't click with me, and I can't pinpoint a specific reason why. I do like that high note they do in the bridge, and I think that whole section should have been longer, hoping it grows on me. I know I said multiple times on this channel that these types of true ballads are not really my cup of tea, but to say that I haven't listened to this a good amount of times would be a lie. I love almost everything, the verses especially, but the chorus takes a slightly anticlimactic expected turn that's usual for this concept, but not my favorite. Park Hajung is a project vocal group with the emphasis on vocals because that bridge goes off. I mean that's kinda expected if you're a ballad group, but still, would love to hear more music from them. I know this is a very loved debut, and upon listening to more songs from them, I think it's safe to say they are not my cup of tea. Their debut track sounds like a boy group song. Of course not a bad thing. I just don't like that overly loud sound with an empty chorus. And there's also this one member with a very prominent kid voice that takes me out every time. I can appreciate the dramatic instrumental even though it was quite monotone at times, but points for doing orchestra. So next you will eventually have 3 subunits and not one official group, so I'm gonna count it. It's a pretty chill, soothing melody. The chorus is quite mellow and the whole song is very Cupid-esque. It's a concept that's been done to death and back in the K-pop industry, but still, this song has something to it. Superwoman was a good song, but it got a little lost for me cause it was released around the same time as some of the other debuts on this list that are rated higher. It reads more as a B-side rather than a debut track, monotone and doesn't take much risks, which leaves not a lot to remember about it, but I love the music video though. With all that being said, I prefer this to Curious, but their overall sound is not something I gravitate towards. Interesting idea, bad execution, and it doesn't sound like this song is right for all their vocal abilities. Upon watching a few live performances, some parts were good, like the pre-chorus, but the instrumental is just too much. I wish their first comeback deep was their actual debut. It literally saved my summer, and the brighter concept suits them much better in my opinion.
Me tonight.
Tripleiz is a project group made of Dita from Secret Number, e.g. from iChillin and Aria from XN. Interesting idea, even though I don't necessarily keep up with either of the groups mentioned. Hala has a very chill distinctive vibe with a lot of empty instrumental areas, which I'm not always in the mood for. It just left me wanting more out it, like a more fleshed out chorus and bridge. I do like how all their vocal colors complement each other, and it's definitely a good song to listen to from time to time. While not the worst, Candyshop definitely wins the most disappointed debut for me. I was so excited for this group, but it turned out to be just a sort of rehashed version of Brave Girls, without the catchy hooks or strong vocals. Unfortunately, it's way too repetitive and doesn't have a strong hook to hold on to. I did enjoy watching the live performances as the girls look very comfortable on stage. The comeback Don't Cry has the same problems I already mentioned, but it's slightly catchier than their debut. I do hope Brave Brothers pull together a banger for their next comeback. Like, we know they can release hits, so why are they holding back? Loving the R&B vibes. It reminds me a lot of Red Velvet in their automatic era, but make it Nugu, you know. It has the vocals necessary to pull this concept off, and even though, no pun intended, I have to be in a certain mood to listen to this, I still think this is pretty solid. It was a great Nugu summer for me. Be Your Girl is one of those songs where I can see all the flaws but I choose to ignore them. The first pre-chorus drop slays and the song is just so catchy. The only criticism I will admit though, is that poor bridge fighting for its life. I don't know what happened at the studio, but a re-recording session should have taken place. Their second single Live a Lie has a similar vibe but with a darker concept, and while the production is still a bit dodgy, it's better compared to their debut. Excited for my Nugu sisters. It's not the freshest sound out there. It does sound like something from 2018, but I do enjoy it. The melody is a tad bit mellow and I'm not a fan of the bridge, but the post-chorus hook is very enjoyable to listen to. This debut isn't gonna leave mark on the industry or anything like that, and I'm not even sure how it's gonna hold up a few years from now, but at least that leaves plenty of room to grow. The second gen sound is strong with this one, even though the production doesn't really do justice with how nice their vocal colors are. They're presented much better in Light Up, which is an A-tier comeback by the way. Summer Feeling is a pleasant summer song. Didn't move the needle in terms of originality or anything, but it's still a solid debut. Also love seeing You Been from Camilla and Tahiti's Jerry back in the industry. Virtual Angel suffers from a common problem of quite a few of these groups. Interesting verses, but then the chorus takes on a musical turn for the worse. Well, not worse, but not as good. They released better songs before this being an official debut, and I was expecting something a bit darker in tone as well. It's not bad, but I don't see myself listening to it as often. The music video is a very aesthetic headache. I love the artistic vision, but like, I can't see it, lol. I am so happy Doom Shit was a pre-release and not a debut, cause I can't stand that chorus, lol. Luckily they switched up their style for Locked On. I love when groups experiment with a bass and drum sound, and that is exactly what this song is. While the instrumental is very racy, it's not super loud or voluminous, so the strong vocals are really holding everything together. The song takes a lot of turns and pauses. It doesn't work for me every time, but when it does, it pays off. I hope they keep experimenting like this in the future as well. Singers giving major 2014 vibes. I don't really enjoy the dated sound of it and it's a bit oversimplified, but there is something appealing about this debut. The vocals are all very pleasant and the chorus is a subtle earworm. I wouldn't necessarily play this all the time, but I like their comeback Hard to Get to You. It sounds like a K-drama soundtrack and definitely gives you more in terms of substance. So this is a Peru-based subunit, but the official group hasn't debuted yet, or they're just gonna release subunits. I'm not too clear on that, lol. Kiss and Call is simple yet so addictive. Like, I did listen to this an ungodly amount of times. It has a very bright poppy hook, but it's not without flaws. The verses could have used more work and tone of delivery, and some of the English lines could have been better. Overall, I enjoyed it. I don't know what's currently happening in the world of vcha since I don't really keep up with them, aside from a member departing, but it's not looking good unfortunately. This debut screams JYP. I would have loved it if it had a bit more serious tone to it and some non-generic lyrics, rather than the almost Disney Channel vibe it gives off. I do still like it. The chorus hook is very catchy and the bright melody is fun and upbeat. I wasn't too impressed by anything they put out since, aside from EXO Call Me. That would have been an interesting title track choice. I loved Posh Girls, so I was stoked to see a couple of the girls re-debut. It's not as catchy as Got You, but I'm happy they went in a similar musical direction. The production quality isn't the best, but also not that bad. so this song took a while to grow on me. I think I was just kinda overwhelmed with the first few listens. The chorus is way too repetitive. It was basically just one line over and over and over again throughout the whole song. I did like the concept. The instrumental is all over the place but in a good way, and the music video was really complimenting the tone and the speed of the song. They're originally a Taiwanese group, but this was their Korean debut and I think it's already pretty unique. So contrary to my belief, Batter Up was a pre-debut release and this is now the OT7 debut. Obviously it has that YG sound written all over it, but I also think it's somewhat fresh in the industry currently since we're getting a lot of new jeans inspired groups and more softer concepts in general. Sheesh is a very generic song that's held up well by their strong vocals. Their music is kinda hit or miss for me and I would say this particular song falls somewhere in the comfortable middle. So a bit of an unpopular opinion I guess, but I actually prefer this to Touch. Both songs are good, but Debut gives me early Y2K Western girl group vibe and I love that. Songs under 3 minutes are usually not the vibe, but the short length works for this. Like, it just gets straight to the point. They're not a group I follow too closely but their show is on my watch list. So, the name is a bit weird. I haven't watched the survival show so I don't know if it makes more sense if you watched it, but yeah. Moving on, I am a bit underwhelmed. It's not strong enough for a debut but it sounds like a lovely B-side. The verses and pre-chorus are very elegant and I wish they elaborated more on that sound rather than giving us a 2010s Rihanna chorus. And like, I'm not saying it in a bad way, it was just an odd choice and goes on for far too long. Nothing off the album really blew me away as far as side tracks go, but all pretty okay songs. For the longest time I couldn't figure out what I disliked about this song and it finally came to me. It's the chorus. I don't like the chorus. The rest of the song is so good. The pre-chorus and bridge especially. It's giving very elegant almost red velvety kind of vibes, but then the chorus goes in a different musical tone which I didn't like. The music video is all over the place too. They should have just focused on one concept instead of going for like 5 of them and then also animation lol. I definitely suggest listening to the song separately from the video if you also didn't like it at first. Regardless, I love their vocals and I think if promoted properly, they have a bright future ahead. I say that as they haven't had a comeback since January. Fingers crossed. This debut was very anticipated within the Nugu community and it's sad it doesn't have a music video. I really hope they eventually release one. This concept pleasantly surprised me. Gives off 3rd gen Nugu vibes in a great way. The chorus doesn't hit exactly like I want it to. It's still good but other parts are better. What stood out to me the most were their vocal colors. The husky tones in the group remind me a bit of Bandit and I love that. In one of their interviews they mentioned their comeback concept has already been decided, so that gives me some reassurance they're not just gonna disband right after debut. All the virtual non-AI groups in this list are kinda slaying, I'm not gonna lie. This is such a cute fun song with a great synth instrumental. Kinda reminds me of Twice's early Japanese tracks mixed with What Is Love. Totally love that concept. Super cute with pleasant vocals. So happy that Jihyun from 8 got to re-debut in this group. I listen to Funny Honey all the time. It's such an earworm of a song and I love how nice and dreamy all the live stages looked. But I wish we got a couple of B-sides as well. This song screamed mid when it came out. I mean, it's the generic Teddy formula sound, but honestly, it got better for me over time. I am now at the point of revisiting it every now and then and enjoying it. The lyrics are a little funny and I'm never a fan of self-titled debut titled tracks, but I don't know. I like it. I still want to see more originality and fleshed out music from them, and to step away from that song structure the Black Label is known for. The second out of 3 virtual groups on this list gives off KDA vibes. While I do like the chorus, I think it's objectively the weakest part of the song cause the rest is so good. The pre-chorus gives off very powerful energy and I love the tone switch in the second verse. I was pleasantly surprised by the high quality production and how much I ended up enjoying this group. 365, 기다려온 나의 stage. If it didn't have such a great pre-chorus and bridge, this song would have totally fallen into the sea of noogoos doing girl crush. But with that fresh bit of melody, the whole song is elevated. I love their vocal tones and the members look very relaxed while performing. Another noogoo song without a music video though. I do think it's smart to focus on the live stages to attract more people but eventually release the music vid, please. Glee Media Entertainment. So this is another virtual group. No way, I don't worry. And I'm actually so impressed by this. Milky Way is so GWS encoded. It's crazy. They are definitely living through this song, RIP. But seriously, great song, and they had a few great comebacks as well. I never thought I'd be standing a virtual group, but here we are. I feel horrible for the madein girls and especially Gin for speaking up about the sexual harassment she received from the CEO only for her to be kicked out of the group and not the predatory CEO. Obviously I am not gonna be supporting madein in any future endeavors while he is still in the agency, and I urge everyone to do the same. I wish all the members best luck and to quickly leave the company, even though the likelihood of that is slim, since they just started their careers and they most likely can't afford to break the contracts. Although I'm not a huge fan of the direction their music is taking, Magnetic was a great debut, extremely catchy and presented the group well, while also having a cohesive mini album. It wasn't that new or fresh since the new genesification of K-pop has already been everywhere, but I did still enjoy it, especially Minju's vocals. The chorus got a bit too repetitive by the end, but it's great so I can get past it. I never heard of this group or song before making this video, and I'm really happy when I stumble upon great music like this. I love the blasting chorus and the instrumental is so fun. As a whole song it's quite different from something you would regularly hear in K-pop. It borrows from J-pop but with a personal touch. It would have been so cool to see it on a music show stage. Can't wait to hear more from them. They came, they slayed, they were prematurely disbanded. Bomb is an amazing song, such a strong debut. I love how the intro just grabs your attention right away and the chorus is magnificent. The melody borrows some J-pop and J-rock elements and their great vocals tie everything together. The way their company didn't even give them a music video before disbanding them so quickly. Illegal. 4 out of 5 members were in Girls Planet 999, and with that in mind, plus this banger of a song, how did that not equal success? At least you may got to re-debut in Love 1, and I'm hoping other members re-debut as well. Absolutely in love with this. The instrumental is so simple but effective, and I especially love the final minute of the song. The vocals aren't mixed super properly, but it's a minor offense considering all the really bad mixing we've heard so far. They're an independent group, so it makes me appreciate the song even more. Not only the debut of the year but honestly the group of the year too. I was in a complete rescene clutch ever since their pre-release. First Yo-Yo, then this amazing debut, and then the amazing summer comeback Love Attack with already iconic B-sides. Owned the year for sure. R is a perfect debut song. I adore the production and the mystery and elegance of the concept. That Beraum part sends me to heaven every time. I just love how they are focused on quality of the songs rather than other elements. They have a great production team behind them. And that was that. There were a lot of solid rookies this year, but a few really great ones, at least for me. We've had stronger years, I think. Well, let me know your top debuts in the comments, and thank you so much for watching. Have a happy new year.